Yo, what's going on guys, Ian77 here, and today's video we're going to be using 2.6 Hog Cycle Fake Deck. Alright, so hopping in the first match here, we're going to be using 2.6 but with RG over Hog Rider. So we don't want to play our RG right away here, we're going to try to just use our normal 2.6 cards, try to trick our opponents into thinking we're using Hog Rider, then just surprise them with the RG when they don't expect it. So we have to be a little bit more careful here. We don't have like quite as good of a cycle since we don't have that Hog, and sometimes we're going to be forced to play like Muskie or Cannon here just to cycle. Alright, so this guy is going to have Boulder, so it's probably going to be either Lumberloon or Splash Yard. And seeing the Baby Dragon, it's probably going to be Lumberloon here. Might be a little bit difficult here. Yeah, so he's gonna Lumberloon here. We're just gonna get a Cannon off, Musketeer, Skeletons as well, with an Ice Spirit too, so it should clean up pretty nicely. Unfortunately, he will get death damage, it looks like. Yeah. But I think RG is actually gonna be pretty decent here over Hog Rider, because he'll probably only have like Inferno Dragon as a really good response to it. Lumberjack is pretty solid too, but if he wastes it on offense or something, then we can go in. So we're actually just gonna RG here at the bridge. You never really want to RG in the back with this deck since it's super cheap and you don't have like a Fisherman or something to pull units off of it. So we'll go with like a Bowler Lumberjack, but we still got so much damage here, even though we have like a slightly underleveled RG and Musketeer. Honestly, the slightly underleveled Musketeer could kind of hurt us here, because it will have like way worse interactions, like dying to a Fireball and losing a lot of those mirror, like, matchups against like mirror, or not like mirror, I mean like a lot of those matchups against like other ranged units is what I meant to say. Alright, so he's gonna Balloon here, we're just gonna Cannon plus Musketeer, spacing them out well too, and yeah, if he ever freezes, we can just like combo that with a Fireball. And I think I'm just going to go with an RG here, because we have that counter-pushing Musk to kill whatever he plays here. I'm just going to get a perfect Ice Spirit off as well, just to freeze the Inferno Dragon. Allow us to get one RG shot. Alright, we're just going to be stacking Musks here. I know a lot of you guys struggle with this matchup, so it should be good for you guys to see, even though it's not with Hog Rider. It is still like going to be similar in principle. So we're going to go with a Musk opposite lane there, and we're actually going to have triple Musk down. So yeah, you kind of just want a Musk stack here, and don't want to just like play his RG, or my RG into his stuff. We're going to try to wait for the right opportunities here. Kind of just waiting whenever he wastes his Inferno Dragon, or if I have like a counter pushing Muskie sometimes, then I'll go with the RG. Alright, so he's gonna Balloon in the back. I'm actually just gonna Cannon here early. Maybe if we get like 2 cannons down, we should be able to defend pretty easily. Maybe even get an activated King Tower. And yeah, looks like we might be able to. He will Baby Dragon behind it, but I think we can cycle back to an Ice Golem. And yeah, perfect. Yeah, so this is a trick probably a lot of you guys have heard of. If you just double Cannon, you can really easily activate your King Tower against the Balloon. It's just gonna help so much. Like, now whenever we're trying to defend, it's going to be so much easier. He's not really going to be able to break through at this point unless we make like some big misplay. Yeah, so I know like a lot of people know that trick that I just did, but I feel like it's not utilized like nearly enough. Like, I don't actually see many people doing it, even though almost everybody knows it, apparently. And yeah, we're just Musk stacking so much here. We have like double Musk and triple Musk actually. This seems more like a 3 Musketeer deck rather than a normal Musketeer deck. And yeah, so if we can get like 1 RG shot here, we should win. Okay, so he will NATO it back, but it is triple Elixir, so I'm just gonna Fireball here. And as you can see, like the spacing on the units and like the precise timings on everything is really important in this matchup. And yeah, RG actually is serving us really well here. Alright, hopping in the next match against this guy, we're gonna have a pretty okay starting hand here. Just gonna cycle a Ice Spirit. Yeah, but always the really nice thing with this deck is just the surprise factor with the RG. It actually seems like a pretty decent deck, and pretty fun as well. Okay, so we will have Bandit plus Poison. Probably gonna be Bridge Spam. Could be like P.E.K.K.A. or Mega Knight. This is normally usually... I mean, if it's P.E.K.K.A., it's normally a pretty good matchup for 2.6. Not sure how RG will change that. It might be a little bit harder here. But always a really fun matchup to play, to be honest. You can do like a lot of crazy plays and yeah. So we're just gonna take the Fireball on the Magic Archer, no reason not to. Honestly, the one thing the Battle Ram did get better at was against the Cannon, because I feel like it, like, a lot more often now when there's a Battle Ram against a Cannon, you'll have to, like, spend, like, your extra 1 Elixir card against it now. Otherwise, the Barbs will just swing at your tower. Alright, so we're gonna Ice Golem in the back here. I want to activate my King Tower against this Bandit. And yeah, this deck isn't 2.6, but it's still really good to practice your cycle skills with your different cards and learning those interactions and stuff. So we're gonna Musk a bit higher up here, just so that if you were to poison the tower and Musk, he probably wouldn't be able to fully finish it off, so we forced out a high poison, which is pretty good for us here. We'll go with a Ghost in the back. It is a little bit annoying that we have to, like, Ice Golem right in front of it, just because he might Magic Archer. Yeah, looks like he will. A little bit early, though, so he only got, like, 1 shot by killing the skeletons and nothing on the Ice Golem. Yeah, and since we have the King Tower activated, we don't have to actually spend anything on that Battle Ram, which is pretty helpful. And we're just gonna RG at the bridge here. Like, I don't think we'll ever really be RGing in the back, even if it wasn't something like P.E.K.K.A., just because we can't really build up much of a push with this deck. Kind of just like, unless we kind of just want to like play it in the back and then get like 2 RGs down, but that wouldn't really be useful in this matchup. So we're just gonna RG here again, because I feel like he spent quite a bit there, so it looks like he doesn't have enough for a P.E.K.K.A. right away, so he has to spend Ewiz Bandit, but we're still gonna get at least like a couple shots here. Yeah, we're still getting a ton of value out of our Musketeer, even though it's underleveled. It's always important to get the good placements with the Musketeer as well, like avoiding spell value on the tower and all that stuff. And you can see just how much value the Musketeer is getting here. And it's honestly usually worth it to protect your Musketeer even when it's already nearly at the bridge, because if you just protect it a little bit, it'll usually like finish off their stuff really nicely. Okay, so his Bandit does go for our Musk, but we're still looking pretty good here. Magic Archer will get pushed by the Battle Ram as well, but we're, yeah, still looking quite good as well. Probably just gonna keep RGing at the breach here shortly, just because even though he has P.E.K.K.A. for our RG, it's always gonna get at least like 1 shot off, unless he just like overcommits a lot on it with like a Ewiz plus P.E.K.K.A., but he usually never has enough Elixir for all of that. And yeah, we're just gonna Cannon here. Gonna always be an easy counter, especially with our King Tower being activated. So we're just gonna RG here once again. Gonna Ice Spirit as well. Might get us like an extra shot or something. Okay, so we do force him to Ewiz, so it was still worth it to use the Ice Spirit there. And we're just gonna log as well, just to push the Ewiz out so it doesn't do too much damage to our Musketeer. And yeah, we're just gonna keep on RGing at the bridge, just kind of rinse and repeat with this deck. Alright, we're gonna get a perfect Ice Spirit on over there on both things, and looks like we just need a Fireball log here. That's gonna be GG. Pretty easy win here. Alright, hopping in the next match against this guy, we do have a bit of an awkward starting hand here. Can only really play our log here unless we just want to RG first play. And yeah, we're just gonna go with the Ice Golem in the back here. We don't really want to play our RG in the first minute unless they just give us like a really good opportunity, because it would kind of just like ruin the surprise factor of the deck. We kind of just want him to think we have 2.6, then when he wastes all his counters, then we go in. So yeah. So Mega Minion plus Poison, not too sure what this means. I don't think any... Okay, so he does have Bandit too. Could be a weird bridge spam deck, but I don't think any popular bridge spam deck actually runs Mega Minion in it, so it is a bit strange. Just gonna be chipping away with our Ice Spirits, and we do have to cycle a Musketeer here just because we do have RG in our deck. So yeah, Alright, so he does have Ewiz and Dark Prince as well, so this is probably Mega Knight or P.E.K.K.A. And yeah, we're gonna always be like logging if he has like a Dark Prince and we have like a Musketeer at the river, we're always gonna be logging it back just so our Musketeer gets maximum value before it dies. I think we're still gonna need the skeletons here. Dark Prince does survive with like 1 HP left, unfortunately. And he will go with a bandit in the back. We might try to activate our King Tower like on his next bandit or whenever we have like the right cycle here, because it will be pretty useful once again. Yeah, we're kind of just at a stalemate here, but it's pretty good for us because he doesn't know what our win condition is yet, so we still have that whole surprise factor. Alright, yeah, Musketeer cleaning up really nicely here. I'm just gonna RG the bridge here, actually, because we have such a good defense with this deck that I'm not even worried about it. And he does actually Mega Minion right at the same time, so that was basically like a 3 elixir RG for us. And yeah, we're gonna get 3 shots, actually. And yeah, now we just have to make sure we have some tight defense here. Okay, so we will have MK Ram Rider. He does get a really good poison off. Probably could have used the Muskie like one more tile to the right side. But yeah, he committed quite a bit there. He wasted his Ram Rider too, which is probably his best RG counter, so just gonna go aggressive here. Was gonna go with skeletons as well, just in case he E-Wized a bit higher so it would distract it, but he did go with it lower, so it didn't really help too much. And he will go with the MK in the other lane, so we're just gonna try to kite everything in one lane. Could possibly activate King Tower here, depending on what happens. So we're gonna actually cannon on that bandit, just so that we don't have to waste our skeletons on it. And we actually get a really nice King activation there against the Mega Knight. I know Mega Knight can be quite a menace in mid-ladder, but once you start learning those things, like how to activate King Tower against it really easily, then it just becomes pretty easy to deal with. Unless they just have like an absolute hard counter to what you're running. Okay, so we're actually going to score 1 RG shot. I feel like even after that 1 RG nerf that happened a little while ago, it still always gets that 1 extra shot, it feels like. And he is going to poison on our Musk, but it's still getting so much value. And we will cannon you. Oh, unfortunately, it looks like the Ram Rider's not going to go for it. It kind of just yeeted me there. But now I'm not really scared to go on the offensive end, because I know he can't stop our RG perfectly without a Ram Rider. Or just overcommitting like crazy. And yeah, that should be GG here. Pretty nice win so far. Alright, hopping in the next match against this guy. Just gonna laugh at him a little bit, because why not? And we have a pretty normal starting hand. We're always just taking it slow though. Gonna see what he's playing. Okay, so he does have Ice Wizard. It's always pretty good to Fireball it now though, since it completely dives to Fireball. And he will have Night Witch as well, so I'm almost certain this is gonna be Golem here. Nothing else really runs Night Witch, especially after that pretty big nerf it got. So we're gonna cannon here, just in case he Lightning, so we'll have a better chance to get back to another one. And we don't want to RG here at the bridge, just because I feel like you would probably counter it like pretty easily, or you just would have went for the tower trade and you wouldn't really be able to defend, so gonna take it a bit slow here, but when he goes with his next Golem, we'll probably go in with the RG. Okay, and since our Musk actually survived with like 1 HP, we're just gonna go with the Musk here, and he doesn't even have like a Barbarrelin cycle to kill our Musk, so RG gonna get a shot there, but he does unfortunately have Goblin Cage, which is a pretty good counter to RG, so I'm not gonna get too much damage compared to what I was hoping. Yeah, so we'll just have to be constantly applying pressure on him in this matchup. We do have pretty decent defense, but he also does have quite good defense, and it could be a bit difficult to defend later on. So we're actually just gonna cannon here, then go in with the RG, because it's gonna be double elixir by the time his Golem like is getting closer to my tower, so I know that I should be able to defend. And we do force him to waste a Night Witch there, which is actually really quite good for us here, because that's his main Golem support unit, so without it you can't really do too much on offense. Alright, so he does lightning and tornado, so I'm just gonna go with a second cannon here. I know we have such a fast cycle that I'm not really worried about wasting our defensive building, because if you went with another aggressive golem, it could just easily cycle back. We're actually gonna go with the RG ice golem here, just to protect the RG a little bit more, maybe get like 1 or 2 extra shots than we would have otherwise got. And yeah, we're always going to be logging those goblin cages right as they're about to break, so it finishes it off and knocks the brawler back as well. Maybe allowed us to get 1 extra shot there. And he will lightning on our musketeer, but it's always going to be a negative trade for him, and it wasn't on the tower he was going for, so pretty fine by me here. Ice Wizard will be a bit annoying when he plays it high, because then we can't really get we just have to like get a -1 trade on it every time, but we did force him to waste the NATO there, so we didn't really get the best trade-off on that defense, so it was just okay for him. Okay, so he will set up with a Knight, which we didn't have Fireball in cycle, but now we do, so I'm just going to Fireball it. It's honestly pretty easy to deal with nowadays, you just have to Fireball log it, so Knight Witch not nearly as strong as it once was. And he will go with the Lightning on the cannon, so I'm just going to get a second cannon down. I don't really feel like that was the best lightning by him. He probably should have went with the lightning on my musketeer. They're just gonna fireball his Ice Wiz once again. It's always worth it when he lines it up with his tower. We're not really gonna go with the RG here. Don't want to play it like right into the Night Witch, since he would also just get a Goblin Cage on it pretty easily. Alright, so we're just gonna keep going with Golems at the bridge, but he's not able to really build up any big pushes, so not too worried. And he does lightning, but we are going to get a pretty solid fireball off, and we're going to get this musketeer down. It's just really helping us with the field control, so getting these good value musketeers allows us to go on a counter push with our RG after that, which is pretty helpful for us. I'm just going to fireball once again. We could even start fireball cycling him here. We only need like 2 more fireballs to win us the game, and it is triple elixir, so we're going to be able to cycle back pretty fast. And yeah, I think that's Fireball log range here. Yeah, log gonna do exactly enough, so that's gonna be GG. Pretty good win against Golem, which is definitely not the easiest matchup. Alright, hopping in the next game, alright, so we're just gonna play it a bit slow here once again. Like, that's the main thing you guys should take away from this. We're just always gonna be playing it slow with this deck. Actually proved to be pretty strong so far, though. We won basically all our games with it, so yeah, so we will have Dark Prince plus Bar Barrel. Not too sure what this is. Dark Prince is pretty popular, so is Bar Barrel. Oh, he did go with a Lightning here. I am tempted to go with the RG. Might go with the RG a bit earlier than normal here, because he just spent so much on that. So yeah. Yeah, we're actually just gonna RG at the bridge here. Okay, so he does have Sparky, which is maybe not the best for us. It will deal with the RG pretty well, but not before we get a ton of damage. We just have to worry about the counter push now. But yeah, we do have like quite a few distraction cards, which is why this is the best RG deck in the game right now, because of this solid defense with great offense. Alright, so really clean defense here. I think the Musk should finish it off just because the Ice Golem Death Nova was able to hit the Sparky, slowing it down a little bit. We don't want to RG right away in front of our Musk, because that would just be a bit over-aggressive, so we're just gonna wait. But yeah, it seems like we can get away with RGs at the river, so I'm just gonna go with one again here. And perfect timing, actually, right as he goes in with the Dark Prince, and he does go with the Sparky here, but I'm not even sure if he'll be able to get a Goblin Giant down in front of it, just because wasting that Dark Prince, he shouldn't actually have 10 Elixir by the time the Sparky gets towards the river, so I think we should be able to deal with this pretty easily. He does go with the Goblin Giant, but it seems a bit late, so Sparky just gonna get demolished here. Gonna Musk off to the side, just in case he goes with like a late Lightning or something. And yeah, now we can just like RG at the bridge here. No reason not to, and yeah, this deck's actually really easy to pick up. You just RG at the bridge and you win all these games, so I really recommend that you guys try this deck because it's the best deck in the game right now, in my opinion. Let's go. Alright, so This is where it will get a bit tricky. We don't have Fireball in cycle to Fireball his Sparky, because sometimes it can be a good play to just like double Fireball plus log his Sparky, but we only got back to it quite late, so it didn't feel like it was worth it. Now we're gonna hold off on a cannon. We're just gonna play it higher up, so that way you can't get like a good lightning off on everything. That's the only way he's gonna really break through, is if he gets like a really nice surprise lightning on us. So now we do have Fireball, so we will go with the Fireball on the Sparky, because 2 Fireballs plus a log does kill it, and honestly isn't too bad of a trade. It is a negative 4 elixir trade, but you do get like a lot of free tower damage, and you can also splash whatever other units they put. So we're just gonna RG at the bridge here, hoping to get like 1 shot at least. Alright, so we do get it, so that's gonna be GG. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!